All praise to Yahweh Bashmi Al Shah, Wahara Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles over the great millstone church. Salutations as well to the elder bishops on down to the rest of the elders in Akim, also of the branches holding forth this true word of life and all true faith and sincerity. So, this is going to be a lesson dealing with, a question I'm posing, to myself first and foremost, and that's what watching. You're watching, but are you praying? I mean, you watching, but are you praying? All right. So that's what we're gonna deal with. All right. So this is Luke 21:36. Watch ye therefore, and pray always. So just dealing with that right there. The Lord, yeah. First part is watching. All right. So we're supposed to be watching, paying attention to our surroundings, watching what's going on. What's coming down the pipeline, seeing what these devils doing. Watching for the recalls on the food, things like that. You know, watching, what's happening in the ministry, watching what's going on um, with brothers and sisters, your house and households, you yourself, you know what I'm saying? All those things first and foremost. But, well, I don't even say but, or at least not yet. And those things are good, because the scriptures tell you to be vigilant, and that's an aspect of watching, you know. So you ain't blindsided by nothing. But the Lord didn't just tell us to watch. He didn't just tell you to watch. He told you, told us all that have been exposed to this truth, which is a power, because he said, he so heareth my words and doeth them, he will liken him unto a wise man which built his house, upon a stone. And then all these things came and he was able to withstand. The house was able to withstand. You know what I'm saying? Because you have the power. You have power by hearing the Lord's words, getting them, meditating on them, and ultimately understanding them, and meditating on them, more and more, to where you extract it more and more, to where you just had a power, after you go and apply them, obviously. But what I'm really just want to push is on a simple level. He also said, pray, So if you hear him tell you to pray and you ain't doing that with watching, what are you doing? What do you have? You don't really have the power. You're truly powerless, because what's the difference between you, or I could say, backpackers, preppers, they watch, you know. So what's the difference? You think they watch and pray? No, because you're not tapped into the Lord truly if you only watching and not praying. You can kind of get into the mindset that that carnal prepper mindset, like that you're gonna be delivered by the power of your bow, as it tell you in Psalms the 44th chapter. Ain't nothing gonna save you but Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So that's why you gotta add praying to it, and that's keeping you in that mindset by doing that, and that's truly gonna have you covered. All right. I'm going to read this real quick. This is Psalms 44:4. Thou art my king, O God, Yahweh. Command deliverances for Jacob. All right. This is in the NLT. You are my king. All right. And my power. See, that's what God means. And my God. You command victories for Israel. It says in the KJV, through thee we will push down our enemies. Through thy name we will tread them under that rise up against us. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. And that's the equivalent of that's like a aspect of watching, and that's what you could end up getting into just by only watching. You go get a damn gun, go get a sword, you know what I'm saying, of different sorts. Before you know, you got a bug out bag. But what's happening? You starting to, you're not even factoring in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. You're not factoring in the fact that safety, as the scriptures tell you, is of the Lord. Let's get that. This is Proverbs 21 and 31. The horse is prepared against the day of battle. See that? Because they've been watching. So they prepped. And that goes into being a prepper. The word prep basically goes in and being prepared. And you only prepared, let's get that word prepared too. You only prepared by watching. So that's why the Lord told us to watch. He wants us prepared. You want to be wise. You want to know, what's the point of knowing that, and brothers say this, but what's the point as well, you know, and I agree, but what's the point of knowing it's going to be famines if you're not going to at least have you water on deck? You know, at one point they could just tell you ain't no more water, or they, you know, what's the point? Let's keep it simple, because we don't even want to say too much, right? But what would be the point, you know, of you knowing if you just not gonna make any sense of it? Use it to, you know, at least be sensible. That's a difference. You know, that's wisdom. It's not having a bug out bag. A bug out bag, somebody that's trusting in that. Like, them niggas ain't calling on the Lord. But anyway, you know, that bug out bag goes back to those preppers, which is again people that's prepared, and they get prepared from watching. So when you get this word prepared, this is prepared in Hebrew.
Strong's H3559. Kun.
You got the word kawan. That means prepared. So it says to be established, be stable, be secure, be enduring. Oh, that's heavy. But because the Lord said, truly, that only comes by hearing his words and doing them. Preppers don't hear watching prayer. You don't need to read the scriptures to be a prepper. Now, some of them, you know, they factor in the Bible and things like that, but they don't truly factor in it in its totality, in its actuality. They don't factor in the Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, Yahweh in the name Yahweh Shah. They don't factor in none of that, man. You know? Because they too busy goddamn just being carnal, which is what you're doing, just watching. But anyway, so be directed aright, be fixed aright, be steadfast in a moral sense, to prepare, be ready, to be prepared, be arranged, be settled, so forth and so on, right? But you truly only going to be established by doing what the Lord says. And that's not just by watching, that's not just watching. That's watching and praying. All right. So I want to get this one real quick too. I want to say that's Isaiah, because really I could just keep it simple. Let's go to Isaiah. Let's get 33 and 6 real quick. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. See that? This is in the NLT. In that day, he will be your sure foundation. See that? Not nothing you prepped. You made yourself powerful. You built the world's strongest house. Because the Lord can have it, because he got your goings. He can have it to where you ain't even at the house, to where you don't got that bag. You know what I'm saying? If all you getting all your power from only watching, he can have it to where the devices you use to watch it are no more. Then what? Because in your mind, you done created this map off being able to watch. So you only as good as you being able to watch. You prepare upon what you see, but you're not even considering the Lord because you're not praying. And that's the point of why he said to pray. But let me finish this verse. It says, in that day, he will be your sure foundation, providing a rich store. See, providing a rich store of salvation, wisdom, and knowledge. See that? The true purpose. It says, the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, right, will be your treasure. But now, your brave warriors weep in public. See that? Your ambassadors of peace cry and bitter disappointment. So these preppers and these false prosperity doctrine pastors, they're going to be out of there because both of them do one or the other, but not both. The warriors probably watch to where they prepared. Those that got the prosperity doctrine, they probably praying all day to the Lord, but they ain't watching. That's why they only got a goddamn prosperity doctrine, because they don't fucking know it's evil on the way, because they don't watch. So your prayer is abomination because you turn your ear from hearing the Lord, man. He told you to watch and pray. If you will watch, you will see it ain't no goddamn peace coming. And it damn sure ain't no peace coming to the wicked and the devil running the earth. But that's what happens when you that's the stage you're gonna end up in if you're watching and not praying. Or praying only and not watching. So again, are you watching? You're watching, but are you also praying? You know? So I wanted to just get this. This is 14. It says the sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness has surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Right, those that actually do what the Lord say. Not the actors, not the hypocrites. You know, not those that saying it, but they ain't doing it. You telling people to watch and pray. You probably watching, but you ain't praying. You probably ain't watching or praying. You probably praying, but you ain't watching. You know what I'm saying? You probably just talking about something else and they ain't doing both and they didn't even know we supposed to watch it and pray. So you ain't gonna goddamn make it. You powerless. It says you're gonna be powerless in that day. It says who among you powerless on a day to day because you're not watching and praying. You supposed to be on your day to day watching and praying. It's a reason why the Lord said that. It says, who among us shall dwell with the everlasting burdens? All right. He that walketh uprightly. I mean, you can read all of this on your own. So I'm going to jump to verse 16. He shall dwell on high. Those that's doing what they supposed to be doing. It says, his place of defense shall be the munition of rocks. So he shall be the munition of rocks. It says, bread shall be given him. So these are those that's going to truly be prepared. That's going to truly always be on point day to day. And even in that day, that ultimate day, his water shall be sure. So though you might have water because you're from, watching. We got mugs that got tons of water probably stored up. That don't mean they're going to be sure because you're not factoring in the Lord. You're not praying to him. How the hell you going to factor in somebody you don't pray to? Why would somebody want to save you? You don't even acknowledge. You're acknowledging him when you pray. So when we go back to Luke 21, in here it says, watch and pray. Now let's get to that point, right? Watch and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all things. See that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. So you might watch and get to a certain point and no longer be able to continue because you wasn't praying to the Lord. Nor did you build up a habit to turn unto him. Because what did he say? Let me just grab this real quick. It'll come to pass that whosoever, see, this is going to be a prophecy. That whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord, obviously in that day, shall be saved. See that? Now, how would they even be around to, probably even do that because they was probably watching. More than likely, they ain't just there to that. That's why he said, "Pray that you are counted. Watch and pray that you are counted worthy, that you may be able to escape all things that are gonna come to pass, and to stand before me." So it says, Acts 2:21, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord, obviously in that day, shall be saved. Now, what's an instance of calling on the name of the Lord? Where was that? Where can that really happen in? What is that a matter of? That's a matter of praying. See that? So you have to pray to be saved. You have to watch and pray. Ye men of Israel, hear this word. So yeah, you know you're an Israelite, but if you're not watching and praying, or only watching but not praying, you're powerless. It means nothing. You see that? Your house is half built, basically. Yahweh Shah of Nazareth, the man approved of God, Yahweh, among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which Yahweh did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. All right, so we're going to jump back to where we was at. Luke 21, I'm in this, in 16. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be counted worthy. So let's get that word pray. We'll read the verse back, and then that'll be it. So let's get the word pray. All right.
Strong's G 1189. Deamai. Deamai.
To want. So to get your wants fulfilled, you might want your enemies. You're going to want your enemies destroyed. You're going to want to be saved. You're going to want the Lord to give you all the things you need. Feed you with food convenient for you. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're going to want him to give you the kingdom, manifest the kingdom, give your people the kingdom. You're going to want so forth and so on. You're going to want spiritual power. You're going to want these things. You might want your husband to have spiritual power, whatever. You might want a man of the Lord that day, for sisters that's single out there. You know what I'm saying? Now, how the hell, anyway, it says, so when he says pray, it's for your wants. See that? Nothing's open to those that's not knocking, and nothing is found to those that ain't seeking for it. Make that make sense, right? It says lack, so you pray for when you lack. It says to desire, it says long for, to ask, to beg. The thing asked for, but what's happening? You're acknowledging Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. You're talking with Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. You showing him you basically understand, right? It's only by him, period, that we're going to be saved. And that's what he wants. Because it says that's when he's going to save us. He's going to do it when he sees that our strength is gone. All right? And I know I said that was it, but this is the spirit. I got to grab this. It says, this is Deuteronomy 32 and 36. For the Lord shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants. So when all hell breaking loose and we being tried, he was like, all right, that's enough. Because he only going through this because we went the hell off. It ain't just to prove that, you know what I'm saying? He already know who. You know what I'm saying? But all this shit is a punishment. So it says, for the Lord shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants when he see it that their power is gone. And how is he gonna truly see that? When your ass praying to him? Because you will be praying to him if you believe you can get something on your own. If you didn't really need, you praying to a higher power. Like you ain't dependent on a fucking job application. You ain't dependent on Walmart or whatever. You're not dependent on what the fuck the news tell you. Excuse my language, but it says, and there is none shut up or left. So it says, indeed, the Lord will give justice to his people, and he will change his mind about his servants when he sees their strength is gone, and no one is left slave or free. Your strength is seen in watching, but he comes in during praying. So he wants you to watch so you can be strong, so you can dodge, stay away from things, be wise out here on the day to day, but you want to pray with it also. So that's it. So watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. So you watching, but are you praying? Call Halam Light, how Bashmi Al Shah. Shalom.